This week in the Missouri Senate, we review another issue that could be revisited next year.
I think it's a decision that they have to make.
I put a lot of pressure on my own shoulders, a lot of weight on my own shoulders.
There were two measures that related to transgender issues from this year's regular legislative session that have since become law: Senate Bill 39 and Senate Bills 49, 236, and 164. Getting these proposals from pre-filed status to the governor's desk included countless hours, not only in committees and discussions on the floor of the Missouri Senate, but time behind the scenes. Missouri Senate President Pro Tem Caleb Rowden of Columbia says there are some people who believe these new laws are only the beginning.
Conversations I've had with Senator Razer and others who talk about trans friends that they have, a lot of them began their transition process after they turned 18, right? So I don't know that putting this pause on it until they reach that age of majority is the be-all, end-all. It's not for a lot of people. So, I understand their concern, and I think there are a lot of other great things about the state, but it's a decision that every family is going to have to make as they go down that road.
Senator Greg Razer of Kansas City says he wishes the legislation had not passed at all.
And I wish I could have stood on that floor until they gave up. But the truth is they were going to force me to sit, and we would have gotten a much worse bill, and those families would have had a much easier decision to make on whether or not to stay in this state. Jack, I'll tell you, a lot of these families talked to me, and they really asked that question: should we stay here? And I think at the moment, most probably say yes.
Part of the length of time involved in crafting the bills, especially Senate Bills 49, 236, and 164, was in finding a way to move forward on something with limited ways for compromise. Senator Rowden says there was a reason for the wording that was used in the version that ultimately passed.
Depending on the age, right? So you're not going to take puberty blockers if you're past puberty. If you're past 14 or 15, you're not going to take puberty blockers because they don't do any good. I think most studies also say that if you take puberty blockers for too long, those can start to have a damaging impact. If you take puberty blockers for 6 months or a year and then you pull back, most studies say that that's not going to have a detrimental impact.
Senator Razer says this became a hot button issue before this year's session started.
Too many times we heard child abuse. Too many times we heard the word eradication. Let's get something straight right now. There's no chemical castration of 2-year-olds. That's the most obscene, absurd thing I've ever heard. So this was fear-mongering. And our teachers are low paid. We have the lowest paid workforce. Dollar General outpays us. We're in the center of a continent and our infrastructure is crumbling. Our teachers can't get a decent wage. Our schools can't stay open 5 days a week.
If this issue is revisited during next year's regular legislative session, there is a chance those proposals could be pre-filed first. Missouri senators have been able to pre-file legislation for the 2024 session since July 1st. These pre-filed measures receive their official bill numbers starting on December 1st. And remember, you can follow these and other issues facing the Missouri Senate by visiting our website, senate.mo.gov. Reporting from the state capitol, I'm Dean Morgan.